Hello everybody, this is Varfish. Welcome back to my tutorial series on how to play the Velvet Book tabletop role-playing game. Today's subject will be how to make a persona. This will be a pretty simple guide. We're just gonna go into trying to make sure that you can get something down on paper, and you can always tweak things later based on what you learn in the future about the game, either just through reading up on the large lists of options you have for building your persona, or once you have a better hand on how combat works. Personally, I think it's just really, really important that you get a rough draft out there, and I'm sure that your game master will let you move things around depending on whether or not you want to change some things or not. So let's just get something bad out on paper, shall we? First time's always gonna be the worst time, but we'll get better as we go along, right? Okay. First thing we have to do is ask our GM what our game's theme is. They will let you know whether they want you to pick from some pantheon or some era of history. And then once you know what your theme is, or if you're just given the entire buffet to work with, we have to land on what our actual design is going to be, because our design is going to inform our parts, which is the second step. So making sure that design is fleshed out first is paramount. For our design, we are going to go with Hermes because that is Junpei's persona. Last episode, we made Junpei's human character sheet, so this seemed like a fitting follow-up. Like I said, after that we have to give our persona parts. After that we have to give our parts qualities and extras. After that we have to choose our elemental resistances and weaknesses, if any. And lastly we will work out our persona's personality. So here's a brief overview of the persona sheet. Top here, mostly just flavor things. We have like our arcana, the favorite thing, the personality, and then here's a little space for some art. Down here at the bottom, we have where we'll be listing out our parts, where we will be listing out our die pools, where we will be writing down our HP, where we will be writing down our damage, and then also noting what boosts and buffs we have that are active for our persona. Notably, I want to touch on this one more time. Damage refers to how much damage you've taken, not how much damage you are dealing. Just thought I would make that explicitly clear. Down here is information on how much HP you heal per heal, how many heals you have, how many people you can heal at the same time. They'll only be relevant, obviously, if you are doing healing. If you're not, don't worry about it. So let's make some parts for Hermes. Now, parts work off of the hit location system. Hit locations are super, super, super simple. Just like a D10, we have hit locations from 1 up to 10. And that is because whenever we roll height, we need to decide where that hits. The hit location just tells you, and it is incredibly self-explanatory. If you have a height of 4, you hit location 4. If you have a height of 7, you hit location 7. There are exceptions to this, which we'll be talking about in the comic video, but that is generally how it works. And hit locations will have ascending importance. 1 should be the least important part of your persona, and 10 should be the most important part. So, the amount of hit locations we assign will determine the dice pool of the part we create. Note that parts cannot have more than 4 hit locations, so no, there, you won't be making a persona with only 1 or 2 parts. That will not mathematically work out in your favor. I'm sorry if that's something you want to do. The rulebook just tells you not to, so we're not going to do it. For Hermes, I went for 3 parts. Our first part, the flight suit, has locations 1 to 3, so that's 3 locations. Our wings have 4, and our helmet has 3 as well. doing the math for our die pools will be based on whether we're making a 3 die or 5 die persona. Ask your GM. Most of the time, you're probably going to be making a 3 die persona, so for this video, I'm making a 3 die persona. All that really means is just like in the name, because we're making a 3 die persona, each hit location will give us 3 die to our die pool. So because we have 3 hit locations on our flight suit, we have a die pool of 9. For on our wings gives us a die pool of 12, and another 3 on our helmet gives us another die pool of 9. Pretty simple, just multiply your persona type, I guess we'll call it, by your hit locations. Any questions on that, just ask your GM. There's also there's like a formula for it in the book as well. Anyway, we need to talk about the qualities and extras we plan on installing onto our parts, because as is, they do nothing. So we have to make sure that they can actually do something so we can be useful, right? Okay, we have 5 qualities. Qualities are the things that do things. Big surprise. We have attacks, which deal damage, defense, which can gobble attack dice to protect ourselves as well as others. We have useful qualities, which can do a load of things. Some good examples for this are buffing skills, as well as the ability to fly or go invisible. All those would go under the useful category. Next up is heals, which, no surprise, heal people. Lastly, we have ailments, which inflict ailments. Again, I really groundbreaking stuff, I know. Notably, both heals and ailments count as extras, so it's good to talk about what extras are now. Extras work as modifications to your qualities, and you can take multiple ranks of extras. Because our heals and ailments count as extras, we can take multiple ranks of heals and ailments. So naturally, this means that we cannot take multiple ranks of attacks, defense, and usefuls. The main way to make these better is by just applying extras instead. So if I want to make my attacks better, I'm going to probably be applying some ranks of power, fast, and heavy. If I want to make my defense better, I'm going to be applying some tough, effectiveness, probably fast as well, and then some recoil. That'll be fun. That'll be neat. For useful, always works is a spectacular option. And those are all the examples I really feel like giving. I don't want to go into what all the extra qualities do because we'd be here forever. So we should move on. If you want to know what these do, read the damn book. That's all I'll tell you. This is really, I'm just trying to give you the like the order, the process, and the format for how you should be doing this. Now, here's what I did for Hermes. I wanted to kind of give a good balance between just kind of copying Hermes' moveset in P3 while also putting in my own ideas, because I just the main thing here is I just added an overdrive. We'll talk about it in a sec. But other than that, it's pretty similar to just normal box standard Hermes from out of the box in P3. So our flight suit, I've applied defense because it's the flight suit is like our body, so will probably be where we want to be taking hits. We want to protect our wings and our face, so last option is just our body, right? I gave it effective, which will just make our rolls better, and toughness, which will make the suit take less damage. The useful quality I give it is overdrive, which will let me break out of my limits and really power up some abilities at a cost, that being something I will go over in the advanced combat guide, most likely, so look forward to that. Our next part is our bladed wings, and I have taken a physical attack here because Junpei is our physical attacking king. I have installed the most extras onto this physical attack. I've given it fast, I've given it power, and I've given it spray. Fast makes it happen more quickly, so it'll beat out other attacks. Power makes it do more damage, and spray makes sure that if I have extra sets left over, I can use those to make another attack without having to declare multiple actions. So that means I do 2 attacks without a penalty, which is really nice. And because we're rolling 8 dice, we are able to do this without having to worry about not rolling 2 sets too often, because most of the time we should be rolling. Hopefully, we will roll 2 sets. Now, I can't believe I forgot to talk about this, but there is obviously a cost to taking on qualities and extras. So, if you remember, back here we had 9, 12, and 9 for our die pools, and they've gone down. Notice we have 6, 8, and 7. So, how to remember this? Every part has a quality for free. So you can see for the flight suit, my free quality was defend. For the wings, it was attack. And for the flight, it was also attack. Sorry, for the helmet, it was also an attack. Every other quality and extra you add on top of that, it just costs 1 die after die pool, and your die pool cannot be more than 10 for any part. So we had no choice but to go uh, below 11 here because that's just illegal, not allowed. And then because I just wanted to make these more useful and also add on some more fun stuff like flight and whatnot, we expended some extra die because even our worst die pool 6, still pretty good chance to roll a set, so not too worried about that. Now where was I? Was on flight, right? Hermes' wings, I give him flight. I made his flight fast. Kind of, I figure that's easy to understand. For our helmet, Junpei in P3 has a fire attack, so I made sure to give him a fire attack, and I just gave it fast and also the area quality, so we have an area attack to use. Be going over how that would function in the combat guide, which will be later. Here I just, because I had to kind of cram stuff in, this is the like key to what the single letters mean. If you have space, you should just roll it out. Sorry, you should write it out like I did here. So like fast X1. If you don't have space, just you can shorten it like this, like F1, and then write off a key to yourself so that you remember what everything does. Okay, that's the hard part done. That's it. Everything else here on out, super easy. So we'll talk about resistances and weaknesses. It is recommended that you take one because they're fun, majorly. Also, you can kind of play into your persona's theming, which is kind of cool. The only rule here is that for every resistance you take, you also have to take 1 weakness. So for Junpei, we just stole it right out of Persona 3. I took the resistance of fire and the weakness of wind. Let's say if I was playing like a fire demon guy, I would probably take a resistance to fire and a weakness to light, or maybe ice, depending. So, again, just bases off your persona's theming. You can take multiple resistances, you just have to take multiple weaknesses. So if I want 3 resistances, I have to take 3 weaknesses. Ask your GM what elements are going to actually be used in the game, obviously. And that applies to what attacks you'll be doing too. So you should have a conversation about that if that information is not already readily available to you. This is the last thing we'll talk about, and that's our favorite things as well as the persona's personality. So, your favorite thing is important because, one, it is the most important thing to your persona, obviously, and also, your favorite thing can be used to heal your persona. This means that your favorite thing should be something that you can make actionable. And this may sound restrictive at first, but you can kind of bend things around as you want. So if you have a persona that's based upon the moon, and you can have their favorite thing be the moon, even if you can't physically visit the moon, you can obviously like have options of just stargazing or doing research on the moon or busting out the telescope and really getting in there and doing heavy stargazing, right? And that how much your character is into it will determine how much heals you get. So that's all that really is. Between your persona's arcana, which again is shared by your human character, they will have the same thing. So for Hermes, it is the magician because Junpei's arcana is also the magician. Between their arcana, their favorite thing, and whatever the basis of your design is, you should have a personality starting to form. I recommend having the personality be a mixture between the human character's personality and then whatever you're basing your design on, as well as a little dash of flavor from your favorite thing. Good personas should have character traits that stand out and are kind of exaggerated because they're inherently exaggerated. I mean, they're like fighting with a god at your back, right? So it should be a little bit extreme. And that's it. We've done it. You can see I've filled in my favorite thing here. Here's the personality. We're at level 0. There's the resistance and the weakness. We left all the healing stuff blank. That's it. Evocation is blank because that'll be determined by your GM. You can ask them all about that. It doesn't really matter for now. For advancement, personas work on a level system, as we just saw. You start at level 0. Your level will increase whenever your GM says so, or by investing 5 experience. And that's it, really. I hope you found this informative and useful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them, ask your GM, and read up.